Okay, MVP. Let's go with Josh first.
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
So, hear me out. This is by far the most famous we've ever been when we made a video about Baker Mayfield. Now, and that was a negative video on him.
3 times.
3 times. Hat trick. Now I'm legit one of the biggest Baker fans that is out there. And he completely crushed this season. And you're like, well, he didn't finish quarterback 1. He didn't finish player 1, whatever you may say. I know y'all's candidates, and they're all awesome, and everyone deserves to win this. But y'all drafted those specific players in the first round. You drafted Baker as quarterback 21 on the season, aka you didn't draft him. Like if you did, he was your backup, and it was really, really late.
I thought we already did best draft value today.
Well, I know that's why I didn't put him as best draft value. I would have won that category.
Oh, that's right. You picked Justin Jefferson.
Well, I wanted to make sure.
In the first
this is the
round.
first person I freaking put in our sheet, by the way, was Baker as MVP, and I wanted to make sure I got him.
Put Baker as your other player.
But I'm making a point here. Can I get my point? So
go ahead.
Again, Lamar, Burrow, right? They all were better than him. Josh Allen, even Jane Daniels. They all finished above Baker Mayfield in the standings, but they were all drafted as a top 12 quarterback. They were already drafted that position. So therefore, you're not getting much value out of you are, because they're all, like I said, they were all awesome. But Baker is such that value, that most valuable player for your fantasy team. Now you talk about touchdowns. We talked about, he scored 41 passing touchdowns, but that's not it. Total touchdowns from a quarterback. Lamar had 45. Joe Burrow had 45. Baker had 44 total touchdowns. Josh Allen had 41. Baker was on a different level this year. And I don't know if it was from Lee and Cohen. I don't know if he just had a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get a bit. Like, I don't know what it was, but he was just so much better than what he thought he was going to be, what we all thought he was going to be, what everyone thought he was going to be. 12 out of 17 games, he was a top 9 quarterback or better, of course, because he finished so high. We had to bring that up. He was just so, like, if you drafted him late, you could afford to go mess around with your lineup because he was going to give you top 5 quarterback and they give you points. Dave, you said quarterbacks don't matter much. Go look at the playoffs. All the teams had Josh Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Baker. They all had the Daniels. They all had the quarterbacks. Yes, there's so many of them. And yes, running backs and all the other positions are very, very, you're scratching the bottom of the barrel sometimes. You did that with Baker and it actually helped you and it actually elevated you. I would like to see, I don't know the stat, how many people had Baker as their championship quarterback? Because, God, he was freaking phenomenal. Losing Mike, losing Godwin, having weeks with McMillan and freaking Kate Otten as his receivers. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. And we all saw that. I mean, this doesn't matter for fantasy, but that run he had in the playoffs where he just – dude, Baker's – he's a stud. My MVP. He might not win this one, but I'm here for it. I love you, Baker. Don't leave Tampa ever.
Okay, Justin.
Yeah, let's go with the wide receiver 1 of the entire fantasy football season. He was on a different level. 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, 403 points. He scored the most fantasy points in all of fantasy football by over 50, nearly 50. Sorry, Saquon was 2, I think. Oh, no, Saquon was RB2. I don't even know who was RB1 now. Anyways, Jamar Chase was just absolutely unstoppable. I mean, he had one bad week in week 2 against Kansas City where he still had 4 receptions. He had 7.5 points there. Outside of that, he never had a not double digit game. He scored 40 or more points 3 times. He scored 55 points in a week against Baltimore, who everybody assumed was like one of the best teams in the league, especially that secondary. He had 11 receptions and 3 touchdowns against Baltimore on a Thursday night. I thought Thursday night football was boring. So Jamar was just on a different level. Contract year. This is real full circle moment for me here because back in April 2024, famously, we all did our bold takes. These guys picked, this player will be RB1, this player will be QB1, this player will be wide receiver 1. And I was like, you know what? Jamar Chase has finished just 12 and 11 the last 2 years. He is not going to finish in the top 12 this season at the wide receiver position. And I could not be more happy that I was wrong because he was on a different planet.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase for MVP. Jamar Chase for president.
Okay, Dave.
Saquon. I mean, there's a reason why the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. The guy ran for 2,000 yards. You got him at the end of the first round, top of the second. And honestly, it's the same with Chase. Chase, I know he had that whole Willie holdout thing, so you probably got him around the same time. Both of these guys were unbelievable. They both probably won your leagues or put it. And you know what? Honestly, Josh is right. Baker was amazing. If you didn't take a quarterback high, or even if you did take a quarterback high and you got Baker late, maybe you traded him, whatever. So Baker was amazing, and I can't argue that either. Just Saquon, he wasn't. There was everyone was taking, it was CMC, it was Brees, it was Bijan, even, I think there was probably somebody else in between there. Gibbs was up there.
Oh, you're talking just
Who?
running backs. You're just talking running
Yeah.
backs.
I'm just talking about and I mean, everybody loved Saquon, but he wasn't one of the top 3 or 4 guys in most drafts. And the fact is, he was amazing. Obviously, there's really not much to say. He was awesome. I traded him in one league like an idiot. Because I had so many injuries. I ended up getting. I don't even want to tell. I don't want to say how it was so bad. I don't want to talk about it. But Saquon was unstoppable, just like Chase was, just like Baker was. So, flip a coin.
Yeah. Those were all really, really good choices. Sweet baby Jesus. I'm gonna have to go with Dave on this one. Saquon Barkley. I think that he definitely was that MVP of the entire league. Like, I don't know how you can that. It's just tough to compare with what he did.